Hi Stampers, I just want to show you how to use the Stampin' Up! Adhesive sheets. The sheets are 6 by 12, so you will need 2 of the sheets for a 12 by 12 sheet of glimmer paper or foil. And I don't know how well the camera will pick up these score lines. On one side you'll find score lines, the other side is smooth. So the side that we want to start peeling on is the side without the score lines. So probably the hardest part of getting started here is to get a corner started. You can use a fingernail or you can use a pointy tool. Just work at a corner until you get it to come up and get loose there. So then we want to just peel back about 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, just like that, and give it a good crease. And then we're going to take the back of our glimmer paper and we're going to line up the bottom and one side without letting that adhesive part, that exposed adhesive, touch. So we just want to get that all lined up perfect on those 2 sides, and then we can press this down. Then if we lift up the loose end, we can find that little piece that we folded under and give it a little pull, and then slowly just keep pressing along this edge. Slowly peel and press. This way you're eliminating the possibility of getting any air bubbles between the adhesive sheet and your paper. So just go all the way down until you have that off. Now you might not want to throw away this backing paper that we pulled off. It has a nice nonstick surface for putting on your other adhesive so you can keep your work surface clean. So that's kind of a useful thing. All right. Let's see what we do next. Now we're going to repeat this whole process with one more sheet. Let's get one corner started and pull it back. And we're going to line this one up right next to the other sheet, again without touching that exposed adhesive down there, until we have it right in place. Then we can press and lift and start pulling. Go back here and slowly press that down, getting out any kind of air bubbles. There, and now you have a piece of glimmer paper or foil that is ready to cut to size and die cut. So if you want to add adhesive to a smaller sheet, let's see, you can cut it down like this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. So if I want to put adhesive just on the back of that, you can take this piece, put it in your paper trimmer. Now, if you don't mind having a sliver of the die cut that doesn't have adhesive, you could cut this at 4 inches. That way you'll get 3 pieces out of 1 sheet. Otherwise, if you want it all the way to the edge, you're going to cut it at 4 1/4, and then you'll only be able to get 2 out. So first we're going to cut it at 4 inches or 4 1/4, your choice. And then we're going to cut it down to 5 1/2. Now, when you're starting to peel off the backing, it's easiest to peel it in a place where you haven't just made a cut. So, I already have a little bit started. Now, if we pull this down on the short edge like we did before, we're going to run into a problem because we're going to be pulling in the same direction as these score lines. It'll be, our pulling piece would be parallel to these, and when we get to that point, it would fall apart. So if you want to pull in that direction, you just need to take a piece of Scotch tape and cover those crease lines. Then it won't fall apart on you as you pull down. Find the other one. The other option that you have is, instead of pulling down on the short edge, if you pull down on the long edge, then you would be going in the same direction that we did on the last one, where the lines are perpendicular to the way we're pulling, and then it won't fall apart. But if you like having the short edge as your starting point, then you would need to put a piece of tape over those. And again, now this one, because I cut it at 4 inches instead of 4 1/4, I'm going to have that sliver on the outside, and I can just line it up to get it as even as possible on each side there, and press that down. And then again, find that little piece underneath and just pull and press. So then that piece is ready to die cut. Here's a piece of the glimmer paper that I have die cut. Now, it probably will not cut through the backing when you die cut through glimmer paper. I ran this through a Big Shot twice, and it did start coming apart in a couple places, so I just put Scotch tape on the back to hold it together in the places where it looked like it was coming loose. The reason is, it's much easier to start peeling off the piece that you want and just press down on the other pieces. Instead of trying to go through and poke out all the little pieces, if it had cut all the way through, this way we can pull out just the part we want and try to leave the other pieces all attached to the backing sheet. Just press down when you get to one that wants to come up. And keep peeling. Oh, I lost a little piece. Now we'll see if I can keep that there. Leaf stayed. There's a little piece you want to keep down there. So it looks like I have all the little pieces out and they're all left. There's one. Belongs down there. There's another one. Now if you were going to throw away the pieces that you didn't need here, then you wouldn't have to go through all this saving. The reason I'm saving them is because I want to use them on a different card. Let's see, where did that one go? Oh, it was like right there. So once you have that out, and I have one little leaf here that broke off, so we can pull that one off. That's going to go over there. You can take your piece that you're going to put in the background and just press it down. We'll put this little leaf on that came off. And there we have the start of one card. Now to use the rest of these pieces on another card, I would start by peeling off the background. Let's get in there. And again, we're trying to just peel off the piece that we're using here, which is this whole outside, and leave the rest of the pieces in place. Okay, let me start with the folded edge here. I'm going to just and you just have to be careful at points where it gets really thin, like right there it was really thin, it could bend, so you're going to try to keep that in a straight line and put this down in a straight line. And this one, fit this down. Then you can take the piece of Blackberry Bliss that I have also die cut, the Many Layered Blossoms die, it's called. And we'll get that one started. other place. Here we go. Now this piece I'm not using the parts that are on the inside. I guess I didn't get the backing off. Let's find a spot where we can get the backing off. I'm not going to use those little pieces, but if I do the same method, then they won't be flying all over, getting in my way. So we're just peeling off the part that we want and letting the other ones stay behind. It's almost off. Let's get these pieces here down. Now, it looks like I have all the little pieces out. So then we can try to fit this piece inside of the frame here, and just the best you can do. It might not fit exact because it may have gotten slightly distorted, the back piece, as we put it on. So we can pull at this and try to fit it right inside that die cut hole. Press it down. And then we can go back to that piece that we had with all the little pieces left of our glimmer paper and start lifting piece by piece. And this, because I placed it in the same orientation as the piece I'm going on, it's not too hard to see where all the pieces go. So you can just continue lifting and placing until we have the whole thing filled in. And then you can put a piece of Whisper White with the thinner dye from the Many Layered Blossoms on top of it. Add a little sentiment and you have a pretty card. And the original one, I put a piece of white on top of there too with that thinner Many Layered Blossoms. Added a sentiment. And we have two similar cards, but a little different look, and didn't waste any of our glimmer paper. So I hope that helps you working with glimmer paper so you don't have to make all the same mistakes that I made. Happy stamping!